Alright guys, what's going on? So this video is going to be a little bit weird at the beginning. So if you guys remember, probably a little while ago, maybe a few months or a month back, I broke not this camera, my other camera, and I was filming on a GoPro for a little while. But the beginning of this video is me actually getting a really cool Suede dash for this truck, but it's filmed on a GoPro. So it's going to be a little bit confusing at first, but you'll understand why a camera of this caliber is so important. So I'm going to transition to those clips where I'm actually picking up the dash for this thing, and then we'll come back and we'll transition back to this camera where we're actually installing it. Alright guys, good morning, what's going on? So today we're heading down to pick up some parts for the F100. Unfortunately, I'm not actually bringing the F100. Either way, we're getting a really special piece for the F100, which I've actually wanted for a long time. I've just never had the time to do it. So I'm really excited about this one. So I'm gonna head in my car, make the trip down to Oceanside, California, meet up with my buddy Matt, and check this thing out. This thing is awesome. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys already realize this, but I'm on the GoPro again today because camera broke, so that's sick. Hopefully by the end of this video, we'll be on my new camera because the batteries will show up. I never realized how different it is vlogging, or videoing myself with a different camera. I'm not used to this thing at all. I feel like I'm holding a little cube in my hand, and I hope I'm in the frame and the audio's right and everything because I can't see myself. I used to have a flip out screen, but then I realized I've been using the same camera for 3 or 4 years. Back when I first started 5 years ago, I was using a GoPro Hero 3 and I just filmed all my videos with that, and I was just hard set on using only a GoPro. And then I finally got the Canon, and that's all I've been using. I only use GoPros for in-car stuff. Going back to this, using it as a handheld is super trippy for me. So sorry if any of the footage looks a little weird, but I'm just trying to get used to this, and this is very temporary. We're just trying to get into the next camera, which is way better, miles better. So yeah, a little weird, but it'll work. Okay, just got down to Oceanside. Is this Oceanside? Yeah, Oceanside, California. I'm not here very often. This is actually where we bought my red Galaxy. We bought it probably about 3 blocks from where I'm standing, which is really weird because you wouldn't think you'd find a 64 Galaxy in somebody's backyard down here. But check this dash out. This is really, really cool. So my buddy Matt, he brought this. This was for your dad's truck?
Yeah, I tried to fit it, but I couldn't get my hands on a decent deal on a dash.
Yeah.
So I ended up having this thing completely covered. I was gonna make it all pretty. And then I noticed that when you were doing the speaker cover, your dash was all cracked and you didn't have anything pretty, so I figured I'd hook you up.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, that is cool.
It's all been wrapped in suede.
Oh wow, yeah, you ain't kidding, look at that. That is super cool.
It's all directional.
So you gotta make sure when you clean it, you'll clean it one direction so it's not all getting in it. So these are the covers that you slip over, right?
Yes,
okay.
There's a tube of silicone in there. Vents are cut out, and then your speaker is still opened up.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Because yeah, it just bugged me because I had one little tiny crack, and then I put this was cracked, so I was like, oh, I'll inset some metal piece in there, and it just went horrible. I didn't like anything turned out, and then I ended up making the crack bigger. This is exactly the route I wanted to go, but never had the chance to do it. So thank you, man. That's perfect. So we're gonna get this thing loaded up. We're gonna head down to the house. We're gonna get this thing hopefully fitted either today or tomorrow. And I think this thing's gonna look awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, guys, we're back with this thing. So here's kind of where this video is gonna start. So the dash in this thing is an original black, and I think it's out of a 1970 F100. My interior is not factory black. It's actually green. I'll put a photo up if I can find it of what the interior used to look like in this thing. But yeah, we have Mustang buckets, which are out of a 68 Mustang. Factory brackets. These are real factory brackets. They're out of a Ranger. They're really rare, but I bought a whole truck for those. That was a long time deal, forever ago. If you guys have been watching that long, you'll know where I got them from. But this dash it's in decent shape. It has the one big crack in the center. That's totally my fault from putting that stupid thing in it that failed miserably. That was an experiment that I tried that failed. So we're gonna be modifying this dash, shaving it, and actually putting a cover over it. That's real suede. So I can't wait to kind of look in here and be able to see a full suede piece in there with no cracks. So I'm gonna start off by taking that dash out and then go ahead and laying on the bench and getting everything sanded and all the high and low spots figured out so I can take the new suede cover and epoxy it over this dash. Whoa! Oh gosh. I should probably unplug the battery. I get asked about this gauge cluster quite often. What gauges are these? So these are actually Autometer. These are, I don't know the actual technical name. They're pretty old. This cluster I actually bought as is from the first vehicle I ever did on this YouTube channel forever ago. It was a white 69 F250 pre-runner. So I bought it specifically for these gauges because at the time when I was in high school, I'd never seen a truck like this with gauges. So I purchased it just like you see here. And then it took the long time to wire it in, so you can see I've made my own harness for this thing. I don't know what you guys can and can't see. So you guys can see I have my own harness that actually looms out of the factory harness. It splices into 2 wires that I can just go ahead and unplug. So it's actually pretty simple. 2 little waterproof clips. These are just K2 clips. You can get these things in Napa. So you can see I can take the whole gauge cluster out in one big piece. Everything's wired from positives to the actual gauges themselves. Everything has its own positive, and then all the grounds for the gauges are wired in series, and then it just goes to the harness. The factory harness goes to each individual item, like a fuel sending unit, oil pressure sending unit. So you just gotta go through a wiring diagram and figure out what they all go to. But it's pretty easy to wire these. It just, as you can see, it looks like a mess. It's a little bit time consuming, so keep that in mind, but it does look good when it's all done. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. So if you aren't actually aware how to take a dash off of one of these trucks, there's a bunch of little, this one's broke off right here, but there's a bunch of little hardware tabs that kind of run along. I think there's, I want to say there's about 8 of them. There might be 10 or 12, but there'll be one in the front corner, back corner, front corner, back corner, and then basically in every corner. So right on the radio, I think there's another one on both sides of the radio, by the glove box, back corner, and then along the window edge. So they're a little tedious and a little bit tricky to get to, and you can see actually I got lazy when I put this dash in the first time and I didn't put them all in for time. I think I was going to a car show like I always am. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these things off and then pull this thing off in one big piece. Wow, I didn't put like any of these in. Look at that. The whole back of this thing's not even bolted down. Man, I suck. There's no bolts holding this in. Wow, nice one, Craig. Okay, that one's off too. That one's off too. Dude, did I put any bolts in this thing? Oh, there's one. I see one. You're gonna have to take the glove box out, by the way. Forgot about that. Aha. I think there was only one nut holding this whole dash in. Hell yeah, go Craig. I think that's actually it. Yeah, that's definitely it. Really made sure that was in there tight. Alright, so in case you want to know the cheapest upgrade to do to any F100 that has a cracked to crud dash, pull it out, watch this. Alright, so this is pretty cool, so check this out. So it's a little dirty right now, but this is the easiest upgrade to do to any F100 if you have one with a bad dash. Literally all you gotta do is pull it off and just wipe it and wax it down. And this will almost always be the original paint to the truck. Oh, no way. Oh, that was my Long Beach Hypo Swap Meet thing. I could have used that. But yeah, this is that's where the original paint to your truck would be. And most of the time I see the nicest paint in the entire vehicle right here. And most trucks that have been repainted, they're typically not painted on the interior. So if you ever wonder what color your truck is from the factory, easiest way to just look is the top of the dash and underneath right here on the firewall, because those are the main places that paint shops never go through the time to actually paint. But I might do some paint touch-ups here and there while I'm over here. But I'm gonna go ahead and lay down the new dash and show you guys what I got. All right. Oh boy, this is gonna be a little tricky. Don't mess it up, Craig, as I say everything I drop. God, I feel like I gotta wear gloves when I work with this thing, like literally. Woo! Oh my gosh. That is a full Suede dash, boys. I'm gonna lay out the old one so you can really get the picture of how much different and nicer this one is. Okay, oh jeez, okay. All right, so you get to see what a mistake in craftsmanship, AKA stupid teenager me thinking I can do some crafty shit, and then I messed the whole thing up. So this is a dash pad cover. So this is like what you go on like LMC Truck or one of the other websites and get. So it's a dash top, so there you go right there. There's the part for it. You can see it's got Suede wraps pretty much all the way around it. So you can see it's hand stitched on the top right here. The GoPro didn't really put it into very good perspective for you guys, but this is the difference between a Suede and a stock dash. So this is a brand new one. This is what it's supposed to look like. And that's just kind of what mine ended up looking like. So not really that great. Forever ago, I tried putting this piece of like perforated steel in, or aluminum, and what it was supposed to do is I put it in backwards. It was supposed to be flat and then facing upwards, so it looked flush as you're staring at it. But I wasn't paying attention to which way I put it in, and I ended up putting it in backwards. And that stress ended up causing a crack right here, and it was a disaster. So I don't recommend modifying a dash if you don't know what you're doing, which I did not. But the nice thing about this, if I slide this forward just a little bit, so you take a regular dash, which you can have any cracked dash you want, take a dash topper like what's in my hand, all you gotta do, slip it over like that, and just kind of pop it on real quick, and then you have a nice brand new dash. And the reason you need to do this is because the older cracked dash has the nice really thick part with all the hardware to actually bolt this thing down. So the install for this thing is ridiculously easy. All I gotta do basically is grab the two pieces with my fingers and squish them together, and it all kind of goes together in one big piece. Now you can see underneath the dash topper, I have the factory dash underneath, but I have a high spot because that stupid piece of perforated. So I'm gonna blow this thing back apart, cut that stupid piece of metal out that I put in, and then get everything fitted so I can go ahead and mock this thing up. So I never really would have voluntarily thought that I'd be taking a grinder to a dash before. Not only that, It was a good one before I ruined it, but I've got a grinder with a flat disc on it, and that's gonna be what I'm gonna be using to shave some of this stuff down. Because too much an issue, I'll sand it by hand, but this is way faster, and like I said, I don't really care about what's underneath. It just has to be flat and smooth to put the cover on. So it looks really bad, and it's gonna, because I just basically tore off the top layer, but like I said, it's getting a cover, so everything just needs to be smooth. So now it's smooth enough to where I'll put the cover on it, clean it, and epoxy it on. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw some just flat black over this. These are pretty faded. I think they're just bare metal, but you will see this part, so I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna spray this whole little area black. Should look a little bit better on the, next to all the suede, so. Cool, now I'll let that dry, and then when I put the new part over, it'll look really good. So now that I just painted everything, I'm gonna go ahead and overlay the dash so you can see what I was talking about. So look at this area now. Give myself a rough idea. There we go. Now it's nice and flat, fits a lot better. You can see I did a flat black because this whole thing's flat. I mean, it's not like it's shiny at all. So yeah, I like that a lot better. So I'm gonna let this cure a little bit more and then start going and fitting up the dash, get the silicone put in here, and go ahead and put it on and stick it on, clamp it. So one of the other things I gotta do is, this actually fell off. I don't know how or when, but it broke. This broke way before I had taken this dash off. This broke like right when I was installing it. But obviously I kept it. So I've got some silicone sealer that we're gonna use on this. This is actually what comes with the dash top kit. So what I'll be doing is basically sealing the back, putting it on, and sealing the top. Hopefully this thing will stay on to a nice bead like that. Don't know if that's too much or too little, don't really care. And luckily this was already here, so it's got a little like notch it'll slip into. It's all flattening out, getting it actually covered. Alright, so I degreased the whole surface. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run a bead basically on this outer edge throughout the whole thing. That'll be where the dash actually lays. And I've never done this, so I'm not sure this is the right way to do it. Pretty sure, I mean, it would make sense to do the outer edge. I got a couple clamps that I'll use, and then basically whatever I have left over, I'll just kind of run through on the top so that it can, you know, not want to lift, and then I'll do those last little beads around this speaker hole, or this is defroster, my bad, around the speaker, or I'll do the last little bits around the defroster hole. So yeah, this should come out pretty good. I have to have the dash this way, it's just easier to clamp, otherwise I would flip it around, so it's better for you guys to see, but hopefully I have enough silicone. I think I do, I don't see why I wouldn't, but let's see, where's the most difficult spot? Alright guys, sorry for the lack of filming. I'm here working by myself, so this is hard to do. But it's all clamped up, so I gotta let this thing sit overnight for all the epoxy to dry. But oh man, this thing's gonna look good. You can see what I was talking about with the air vents now. Those look super good. So definitely happy with that. So I'm gonna let this cure overnight, come back in the morning, pull the clamps off, and throw it in the truck. Whew, yeah, that looks super good. So here's our final finished product. That looks insane. I can't even get over this. Oh my gosh. I love the directional suede on this thing. It looks awesome. Looks so cool. So now you guys can get a visual of what I was talking about with the vents. So I went ahead and we painted those up. Those look way better on both of them. Now they're not like this like faded like gray color. I just threw some flat black on it. It looked really good. It's kind of crazy to see the after product when you know underneath I was hitting with a flat disc and a grinder, trying to knock everything down, all the high spots. I was cutting this thing up pretty bad, but it was just to get everything level. And I mean, now you can see the thing's super flat, looks really great. There's not really any low and high spots down it. So, and just the finish of this thing's incredible. So I'm happy with it. My little repair on the one side looks good. So everything seems to be holding up. The epoxy seems to be a little bit tacky still, but not to the point to where I can't install it. It's just a little soft. It's not like it's gonna lift. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in because all it has to do is sit there, and then it can dry in the windowsill of the truck. Alright guys, here's our finished product. I'll give you guys a later shot in better lighting so it actually kind of shows it. But this directional suede looks incredible. I can't get over it. Massive thank you to my buddy Matt for selling me this thing. The one thing about the suede, if you so much as touch it any little bit, it will change the way it looks. And it's really hard to get all the seams to go the right way. But either way, I cannot help but, you know, just look at that and be like, damn, that looks good. And we do have cedar upholstery, which will be coming very soon, so look forward to that. But I'm stoked. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up here a little bit. We got a cruise night tonight, so I'm gonna have Seth come get the town car. He's gonna be driving that turd around. I'm gonna bring my truck, and I'll catch you guys up at the parking lot with some better lighting so we can get a better look at that dash, because this thing looks phenomenal. All right, guys, got Seth in the town car behind me. Should be a pretty fun little cruise. I don't know what this Dodge is, but it's freaking sick. Who I pulled up behind, my twin. Oh, look at that.
A little bit weathered now.
Yeah, but you're driving it, which is what matters.
Yeah.
And more people need to drive their stuff. The cool thing is, the two things that I love about this truck the most is the was an F500 scoop?
Yeah,
F750. F750, yeah, like the tow trucks.
Yeah.
So this scoop on the front of it, did you paint match that to the rest of the truck?
What's that?
Did you paint match it to the rest of the truck?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And I had the little grill, I had that re-grill.
That's so cool. Yeah. And you got the old school KCs on it.
Those
And then,
the old stainless ones, I restored them.
oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. And then this is your AC compressor, which is now onboard air, right?
Yep.
That's so
I got
kick-ass.
my onboard air compressor, there's a tank under the bed, I got my air horn over here. I got load levelers on the rear axle.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah, I saw the bags in the back. Yeah, this thing's sick. I love it. Is yours Wimbledon white as well? Or is
Yes.
it is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, they look the same, but I couldn't tell. I like the red lettering. I actually wish mine had red lettering, but oh well. Man, this thing's sick. So this was a two-wheel drive body, and he put it onto a Highboy chassis, and this thing's just so sick. Yeah, that's killer. So that's what it would have looked like if mine was bigger. Yeah, I'm jealous of the painted grille, the painted bumper, and the red lettering on the tailgate. Those are all things I wish mine had, but this looks super cool. I like the hitch on the front too.
Yeah, it's got F550 springs on the front.
The Leafs?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Super duty springs. Rides a lot better.
Oh, wow. Oh, you still have the power ram on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
it's great, so why change it?
See, mine, every one I've had, it was bad.
Uh-huh.
But like I spent $500 rebuilding one of the Galaxy and it was still bad. So I must just have bad luck with them. But I know that they were in them brand new, so they should
Yeah.
work.
The parts are still available, so I had to get the Ram rebuilt.
Yeah.
It was, you know, a couple $100, but
Yeah.
no big deal.
I don't know. I just got bad luck, I guess. It was with the Galaxies, which makes sense with the bad luck thing. So I guess it all goes hand in. Oh, look at this guy.
Shout out to my sponsors, they know who they are.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Looks good, dude.
Thanks, man.
Wow. Steel it on the top.
Hey.
Nice.
Single iron at work.
Parking brake engaged. Dang, we got a 40 Ford out here that actually like does things. Dude, that one actually does stuff.
I wish mine did.
It's gotta do things.
Hey, TCI front end on the way.
Yeah, all the money.
How's it going?
All right, posted up. Everything's looking all nice and clean. So now you guys see the dash. Now the lighting doesn't totally suck. Look at that. Got the car show in the background. Everyone's all cruising. Yeah, this thing came out awesome. I'm stoked with it. All the stitching looks good. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Alright guys, well there you have it. Super happy with the way the dash came out. Massive thank you to my buddy Matt for letting me buy that thing off of him. I'm stoked. I've always wanted a real Suede dash. We were going to do the flock like we did in Sean's truck, but this was just the perfect opportunity to go real Suede, so I did it. Happy with the way it came out. There's a couple little spots that started to lift. Only one tube of silicone is not enough. You definitely need two, so that's the one thing I got to go back and, you know, go underneath and put some more silicone in certain spots to seal it down. But for now, I think it'll work really well. So a little bit of a shorter video, but nevertheless, I hope you guys wanted to enjoy it. Leave a like if you did enjoy it. Let me do think down in the comments below. Right now, I'm gonna throw on the safety glasses and start getting the quarter panels mocked up for the Galaxy. So I'll see you guys then. And stay tuned for the next video. Bye, guys.